One Zambia, one nation. This is ZANIS News and I'm your presenter, Twambo Siavwapa. First, for the headlines. Stakeholders happy with development in education sector. $8,000 children in Isoka issued with birth certificates. Plus 2022 census set for Thursday. Once again, this is ZANIS News and I'm your presenter, Twambo Siavwapa. And now the news in detail. Stakeholders are happy with the development that has been recorded in the education sector. The National Union for Public and Private Educators in Zambia, NUPEZ, has cited implementation of the free education policy and the unprecedented recruitment of over 30,000 teachers. Wupesendwe reports that the union is elated with the move aimed at enhancing the pupil-teacher ratio, as well as ensuring that every child has access to education.
Since assuming office in August last year, the new administration has put in place a number of interventions to reduce the high illiteracy levels in the country. Free education from primary to secondary level and the recruitment of over 30,000 teachers are among the many interventions being implemented by the government in an effort to transform the education sector. Players in the education sector are happy with the transformation agenda.
Not a joke to employ more than 30,000 teachers within a year. It's not. Governments have come and gone and probably in their entire reign have never employed that number of teachers. So to us, that is a plus. It's a plus because the child in the rural area has the same right to education as the child in the urban area. We have seen, of course, a lot of children getting back to school, meaning we had thousands of these children staying home.
NUPEZ has called on government to take advantage of the public-private partnership by entering into concessions with the private developers who can come up with housing units for teachers, especially in rural areas.
What we are also advising is that, government can't do everything. They can't do everything. The same method or strategy they have used in the construction of roads, a public-private partnership, where they enter into concessions with contractors, they do roads, and thereafter get their benefits from the same projects. We would like to ask government also to partner with private developers for them to come up with housing units, especially in rural areas. Because already we have sent the teachers there, they have gone to teach, but most of the places don't have houses.
Progressive Union Educators of Zambia is happy that the government gave a share of the Constituency Development Fund to the education sector for infrastructure development.
The fact that the Constituent Development Fund, which is actually going towards building this infrastructure and also trying to increase especially the number of desks and classrooms to respond to the call from the public that there's a need to increase on the number of infrastructure in the country. So that's a major aspect that we've seen as a policy that has actually been introduced by the new government.
From the time President Hakainde Hichilema was ushered into office on August 24, 2021, Zambia not only operates under free education from grade 1 to 12, but government has also banned user and examination fees for pupils. Wupesendwe reporting in Lusaka.
The business community on the Copperbelt province has acknowledged the economic gains that government has realized so far. The Ndola and Kitwe Chambers of Commerce have pointed out the stability and strength of the kwacha against other convertible currencies as one of the key economic milestones. Frank Chingambu filed in this report.
It's been a rough journey with numerous economic loads to offload. With all hopes and beliefs entrusted in him and his administration by millions of Zambians, President Hakainde Hichilema has had his efforts applied on resuscitating the economy whose wheels were not being oiled. 1 year down the line, stakeholders count the giant steps that government has taken to revive the economy.
The stability of the kwacha has kicked in. We are now able to plan properly, but it has not only stabilized, it has become stronger. That means that the cost of imports has also come down.
So what we're seeing now is stability in our economy, which is in the exchange rates. We're seeing the stability in the interest rates.
The other big factor which affected us as business people was the inflation rate. Before this government came into power, that was such a nightmare. I mean, we are above 20.
Bernard Mwelwa is a cross-border trader who now spends less kwacha to get more dollars for his orders.
Tanzania, South Africa, you can't go down for that 20,000. But now, I appreciate because only 20,000 you can change at least.
Some stakeholders, however, have continued questioning why the cost of goods on many shelves remain high, despite having the rate of inflation hitting the single digit.
Now, what is happening is the rate at which your prices are increasing is not the same as was the case. The prices may increase in certain cases, but in a very smaller way.
Remember, inflation is not that prices are reducing. It's the rate of increase in prices is reducing. So yes, prices are going up, but not at the same rate that they were going up before.
The church is equally monitoring the success being recorded.
It will be very easy for us to partner with the government, and one of the ways is through cooperatives, as the government is saying. And as I speak, we already have a number of cooperatives in different towns where our churches in CCC exist.
As the journey to economic freedom continues, the business community also anticipates to see the cost of money dropping to single digits. Frank Chingambu reporting from Ndola, ZANIS News.
Still on the Copperbelt, province government has warned residents of Chambishi Chobe area in Kalulushi constituency against vandalizing the newly built 1x4 classroom block at the local school. This was after some members of the community vandalized some classrooms at the newly built Chobe Primary School. Kalulushi District Commissioner Kelly Jivinga, who is also saddened with the development, reminded the residents that the infrastructure was there to help facilitate for education advancement in the area. Here is a report.
The classrooms are done, all in a bid to complement government efforts to deliver quality education to the learners here. But building these additional classrooms at Chobe Primary School has not been an easy undertaking due to vandalism from suspected scrap metal dealers. The contractor has finally managed to complete the 1x4 classroom block. Kalulushi District Commissioner Kelly Jivinga inspected the completed additional classrooms and later met with community members in the area. The DC warned the community against vandalizing the infrastructure built with over 700,000 kwacha funds donated by Chambishi Copper Smelter.
Concerns were raised saying that the stage at which scrap metal is being advanced as a business is adding on to the vandalism that we are experiencing.
Mr. Jivinga also warned scrap metal dealers suspected to be behind the vandalism of infrastructure at this school.
So, you meeting where fiashi. Twice I'm kulomba mano kulimu. Chief ingachita chapa mo. Pagawati to safeguard infrastructure.
And speaking at the same meeting, Kalulushi District Education Board Secretary Bola Malambo disclosed that the government has deployed 8 teachers to Chobe Primary School in the just-ended teacher recruitment exercise. Mrs. Malambo said the 8 teachers will boost the low staffing levels and improve on the teacher-pupil ratio.
Emuguti limbi nokupwa wangu kuti kwa nashako. Bantu iskuru wapasa grade 8 nope skuru ya veroko. Charako nkapo.
Chambeshi Copper Smelter is building 3 more 1x4 classroom blocks in Kalulushi to complement the government free education policy. Walakapapula for ZANIS in Kalulushi.
We now take you to Western Province, where Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa says government is working towards ensuring that all stalled projects are completed. The Permanent Secretary said this during an inspection of Ganja Livestock Training Center, whose construction works have stalled since 2017. Sifu Mwangala has the rest of the story.
Poor infrastructure is a serious obstacle in the development of communities and in economic progress. In Western Province, construction of most projects, especially in the newly created districts, have stalled. Speaking when inspected Ganja Livestock Training Center in Sioma District, Western Province Permanent Secretary said there's need for stalled construction works to commence in order for them to start operating.
Livestock farming is one of the major agricultural activities in Western Province, and the Sioma and the other districts depend on livestock. This center was intended to be a training school for veterinary officers, but it's one of the so many stalled projects in this province, which also includes district administration offices. This is public money going to waste if it's not completed within the shortest possible time.
The PS later inspected buildings at Sioma District Administration Center, where construction work is almost complete.
This site, insofar as the district administration is concerned, is almost ready for occupation. I think if we're asked to give money, we would really use that money to fund the completion of the district administration office and these 10 residential houses, so that the district administration can stop paying rentals.
And Sioma District Commissioner disclosed that the construction of the District Administration Center is at 90%.
We really appeal that if the government can come in and do some finishing works so that people can come and occupy them, especially that already our district administration is almost 90% complete.
Meanwhile, the traditional leadership in the area said it will work with government in monitoring the buildings. Sifue Mwangala reporting from Sioma District in Western Province.
ZANIS News continues. World Vision Zambia, in partnership with the Department of National Registration, Passport and Citizenship, has issued birth certificates to 8,000 children in Isoka District, Muchinga Province. Meanwhile, Isoka District Commissioner Collins Sichivula has officially launched the Birth and Death Registration Center in the district. More in this report.
Honor and privilege to officially open the issuance of birth certificates in Isoka District.
The government of Zambia, under the Department of National Registration and Citizenship, NRPC, and its partners, has embarked on digitalizing childbirth registration exercise.
We ensure that the facility is fully utilized to the benefit of the people of Isoka District.
Isoka District, NRPC, has been digitalized.
Of national registration, passport, and citizenship through the Ministry of Home Affairs is officially launching the Integrated National Registration and Vital Statistics Systems INRIS in Isoka District.
Do the people know the importance of child registration and vital statistics?
The importance of birth and death registration cannot be overemphasized. The country needs vital statistics from the registration of birth and deaths for socio-economical planning and measuring of the success being recorded through different interventions and especially in the health sector.
Speaking area, World Vision Zambia Luswepo Swila Cluster Manager Samuel Chanda says his organization is excited and attaches great importance to childbirth certification.
In soccer alone, World Vision has so far helped to facilitate registration for 8,000 children.
Thank you.
Fred Perry, ZANIS News, Isoka, Chiba Province.
Also in this edition of ZANIS News, Central Province Minister Credo Nanjua has raised concern over the region's failure to meet the 95% target of people on antiretroviral treatment, having their viral load suppressed for the past 3 years. This came to light during the commemoration of the Provincial HIV Testing, Counseling and Treatment Day. Here is a report by Daniel Billy.
HIV testing and counseling is the backbone of prevention and linkage to treatment measures. While Central Province is doing well in the second 95, the treatment, care and support services, the province has failed to meet the third target of 95% of HIV-positive clients on antiretroviral therapy, having their viral load suppressed for the past 3 years. Central Province Minister Credo Nanjua was represented by Kabwe District Administrative Officer Kenneth Pezo at the Provincial HIV Testing, Counseling and Treatment Day commemoration.
I say this with great regret that the province did not meet the target of the 95% of HIV-positive clients on antiretroviral therapy, having their viral load suppressed for the past years, to call upon all people living with HIV to adhere to treatment in order to become undetectable and thus reduce chance of spreading the virus.
Dr. Edwin Zulu represented the Provincial Health Office.
As a health sector, as a country, we've been concerned with the 90 targets, and out of those 90 targets, we're hereby today commemorating the first 90, and we want to encourage people to get tested.
Healthcare Foundation is excited to be part of the Provincial HIV Testing, Counseling and Treatment Day.
I need to highlight that the successful management of HIV hinges on knowing one's status. It is imperative for all of us to be tested for HIV, as it is the only way to end the pandemic.
Daniel Billy for ZANIS News in Kabwe, Central Province.
Now, all is set for the 2022 Census of Population and Housing, scheduled to commence on Thursday, August 18. And the Zambia Statistics Agency ZAMSTATS has made an appeal to members of the public to avail correct information to enumerators who will be conducting interviews during the census exercise. Here are the details.
The Zambia Statistics Agency, ZAMSTATS, has assured members of the public that the information to be gathered during the National Census of Population and Housing, slated for August 18th to September 24th, will be strictly confidential in accordance with the Statistics Act number 13 of 2018. ZAMSTATS Census Manager explains that the data to be collected will be used for statistical purposes.
The information gathered is strictly confidential. No information is supposed to be revealed to any unauthorized person other than just the ZAMSTATS employees. The information is highly protected.
And United Nations Population Fund has called for the involvement of all Zambians during the national census exercise.
I think it is very important that everyone participates in the census, because the government and other stakeholders, they need to plan for each and everyone in the country.
The statistical data to be generated during the census is cardinal in helping government and other organizations make informed policy decisions. This is why stakeholders are calling for embracing of enumerators as they go door to door conducting interviews.
Fwebekala kyalo fo kifuire fe tufuire bali abantu nga bayisa abo balesende ekipendo kya bwikashibwa muno Zambia aba census nga bafika aba census group tufuire twabafwa.
It's to welcome these officers, because if they will have difficulties, it means they won't get what they want on the ground.
To put up a proper and formidable budget, the country should know the number of the people it is governing.
Zambia's national development largely hinges on the quality of census data to be generated during the 2022 National Population and Housing Census. ZANIS reports in Lusaka.
Indeed, let us cooperate with the enumerators as they visit us for the census. The Department of Social Welfare in Chifunabuli District is conducting an on-the-spot check on selected social cash transfer beneficiary households. The check has revealed a significant reduction in poverty levels among the beneficiaries. Take a look at this report.
Though with difficulties, this 78-year-old widow walks with pride into the first ever iron-roofed house she has ever owned thanks to social cash transfer. She is among the many success stories of how the social cash transfer program is helping in improving livelihood in Chifunabuli district in Luapula province. The other success stories are that of a 75-year-old widow and a 74-year-old widower. Chifunabuli District Social Welfare Officer is delighted with the impact that the social cash transfer program is bringing in communities.
As Social Welfare Department, we are so happy, we are so proud of what the government is doing in our district. Currently, we have about 12,000 beneficiaries in the district, and we have visited selected beneficiaries in their households. And we have seen that most of the beneficiaries are putting to good use the money they are receiving from the government.
Esther Banda reporting for ZANIS News in Chifunabuli District in Luapula Province.
Encouraging testimonies on how the social cash transfer is impacting the lives of people. In that report from Esther Banda. Now, the Bembas and Ngonis have concluded celebrations of the Ukusefya Pangwena traditional ceremony with a golf tournament. The tournament between the two tribes saw the Bembas emerge winners after scoring 400 points against the Ngonis, who scored 392 points. Nkweto Mumba covered the event and now reports.
The traditional cousinship between the Bembas and Ngonis has been in existence since time immemorial, and they share a lot in upholding cultural heritage. At every Ukusefya Pangwena traditional ceremony, the Ngonis, led by Paramount Chief Mpezeni, grace the event with their presence and perform their majestic signature dance. After the ceremony, a golf tournament is held between the two tribes, and the Bembas emerged winners of the top prize in this year's contest sponsored by Sidiko. Paramount Chief Chitimukulu, who graced the prize presentation ceremony, was made to taste a special meal prepared by the Ngonis.
I appreciate about this relationship which we have, and I appreciate how the sacrifice of coming. There are certain people who are always superior to others, and they always win. Even in battles, you lost.
This foster unity, and I recall the government has always mentioned about tourism sports. We are here as tourists, we are also here to promote the sector.
For Sidiko Zambia, supporting agro-development as well as tradition and culture is the company's pride.
The key sponsor for this particular tournament that relates to our traditional ceremony for this area. As Sidiko, we believe in promoting our traditional values. Here we have water, here we have land, here the right climate to grow in a crop.
Nkweto Mumba for ZANIS in Kasama.
And on that sporting note, we conclude this edition of ZANIS News. Here now a recap of the stories that made headlines. Stakeholders happy with the development in education sector. And 8,000 children in Isoka issued with birth certificates. Plus 2022 census set for Thursday. That's all we had for you on ZANIS News from me, Twambo Siavwapa, and indeed on behalf of the entire ZANIS production team, it's bye-bye. Join us next time.